now turn up.
Welcome, it is April. All right, we are giving away, I almost said Brandon and you, but it's not. It's Jerry Jeudy. Woo! Jerry Jeudy, and I did it right. I didn't put it upside down. Yeah, we're going to be giving a Jerry Jeudy college signed jersey away. All we have to do is hit 1,000 subscribers, and it'll be one of yours. All right, so we're going to be doing three, and this is like not deep prospects. This is like super deep. We're going to be doing some highlights here because some of these guys are crazy athletic and good, but they do have some downside too, and that's why they're not being drafted in the top 50. And most of them I have seen that are not in the top 60. So we're talking like 5th round picks. And I think this is a perfect class to find some of these wide receivers. I would say like a Preston Williams a couple years ago, where you're going to have maybe 7th round or undrafted, because some of these players have, of course, issues, and that's why they're being drafted later. But you're going to see some of these catches and stuff, and you're going to be like, how are these not like top 2-round players? And I'll tell you why, but we're going to start with my least favorite and go to my favorite. The first one is going to be TJ Vasher. And if I just told you his height and weight of 6'6", 210 pounds, you'd be going like, oh my goodness. He's not in the top 60 for issue. He has some different issues. He's never produced more than 700 yards at Texas Tech, so that's number one. He's not a productive wide receiver. But what he lacks in productivity, you can see in he's a complete mismatch. When he is on the field against another cornerback, he looks like he's a monster. He reminds me a lot of like Hakeem Butler of Iowa State. When he came in, you're like, oh my goodness, this guy looks like Megatron. Like, he's making these crazy catches. How is somebody going to stop him? He's, again, unbelievable catches, athletic. He has actually really good hands for being 6'6", 210 pounds. And he has wonderful body control for, again, being that large of a human being. So you're thinking, well, how in the world is he like not in the top 60 for being like, if you look at just his highlight, if you look at his highlight film, he makes you think that he's going to be like a 1st round NFL player. There's a lot of different things. One, again, that productivity. Two, he has character concerns. There's definitely been some work ethic. His biggest thing is his work ethic. He's been benched his last year at Texas Tech, not even on a good team, just kind of thrown to the back of the bench because he's had issues, again, with that work ethic, not wanting to be at practice, things like that. And so we're talking about a guy who, again, has all the tools and abilities, but I don't know if it will translate to the next level. We were talking about like Doral Green Beckham, who's amazing, but again, kind of the same problems. You're talking about somebody that, if he had his head on right, you would be looking at probably a 1st or 2nd round pick in the NFL. I mean, that's how good he is. And if you probably look at those catches, you're going, yeah, he's that good. So what is his chances? He could be a top 15 Dynasty wide receiver. There's probably like a 2% chance that could be it. But there's also a chance where he's a decent wide receiver that just has these boomer bust games. And there's also a huge chance and possibility that he just does nothing and just is cut. For that ability, though, like, you have to look and go, okay, upside, 5th round pick, hey, 2 to 10% chance that he's going to be something from decent to like elite. You got to take the chance. And then I'm saying, again, 2% chance that he's probably like this elite guy, but hey, you're in the 5th round, 6th round maybe, like, what else is there to do? I mean, you're not going to take just a guy who's going to sit on the bench permanently and have no upside. Again, these are high upside picks. You want the highest upside when you're here. That is where you get these Dynasty gold. The next guy is Austin Watkins, and he's out of UAB. Again, not in the top 60. He's 6'1.5", 207. At least that's Senior Bowl. Then sometimes it says 6'3", but he's not 6'3". He's 6'1.5". That's what the Senior Bowl said. He's a good route runner, but sometimes inconsistent route runner. So that's a problem. Sometimes he shows that he does good routes, and sometimes you're like, that was the exact same route, but he just did not do that well. Like, what happened? Like, very inconsistent. He's a good separator, though. That's a good thing that you want to see at the next level. If you're not open, QBs are not going to throw it to you. That's like my number one trait that I love is separation. If you can separate from somebody, then that means the QB is going to throw it to you more often. And if you don't look like you're open, even if you can catch the ball, you're not going to get the ball thrown to you as much. I mean, look at like Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, like those type of players. I mean, they're elite, but like they're elite in a lot of attributes. But if you look like Devontae Adams, he is a master route runner. He went from like at Fresno State to like, oh my goodness, like now you can't stop him. He is so good at mixing his routes and stuff like that. So that's why separation's sidebar. That's why separation's so awesome. But he has decent hands and he's a good contested catch wide receiver. I mean, he's like a poor man's like Justin Jefferson when you come to it. And looking at that being a not top 60 wide receiver for a UAB school that's not very good, I mean, you have to look and say, okay, well, I mean, he has a chance. He has a chance if he finds a good spot and he ends up working on that kind of, well, I'll tell you what his bad things are. Speed and, I guess, burst are not big things. So he needs to kind of be an underneath guy, like a Keenan Allen type. That needs to be like his type of wide receiver set skill because he's not a vertical threat and he's just not, he doesn't have the burst and speed like some of these elite wide receivers. But again, a prototypical X wide receiver, which sometimes do well in fantasy. And again, you're not in the top 60. So if it busts out 95% of the time, well, oh well. At least you got 3 dart throws that you can do. My favorite deep wide receiver past the top 60 is Jonathan Adams Jr. He is 6'3", 210 pounds, Arkansas State. You're going to see some videos up here again of just, man, he is a highlight reel grab type. Again, Arkansas State, so small school, and we're talking about not elite competition. But he had 1,111 yards. I think that's Make-A-Wish, right? You're supposed to make a wish at 1,111 yards, 12 touchdowns in 10 games. So an awesome production in 10 games. Again, wonderful hands. Just wonderful hands. Again, soft hands as well. And then highlight reel grabs is what you're going to get from him. He is amazing at those types of situations. And then moves well after the catch, too. So if you're going to throw him some underneath stuff, I mean, he can really move after the catch. Again, if Jonathan Williams, I'm getting all of these. If Jonathan Adams did what he did at Arkansas State, at LSU per se, he'd be a first or second round pick. But he did it at Arkansas State, a very, very small school. He needs to expand his route tree because his route tree is very limited. I mean, he doesn't do that many routes. If you look, I mean, they're kind of all the same routes. His level of competition was bad, and he needs to be more well-rounded for separation. He relies on speed. He relies on his bigger size, but he needs to work on that craft of separating without having to use his size. So again, some things that he has to work on. But again, I mean, we are looking at a guy that 5% chance again that he's Jamar Chase, and you get him in the 60th pick. Like that's what you want. Again, there's 95% chance he does nothing. But I mean, this is where we're at. So deep dives. Again, I hope you learned some things. And if not, just go look at some highlight videos. They're kind of cool, these 3 players. This is Marcus, again, with Dynasty Football Dads, where we do daily Dynasty videos. We're giving away the Jerry Jeudy signed jersey here. All we gotta do is hit 1K. All right, peace out. See you tomorrow.
Now turn up.